So 2025 now.
Yeah.
We probably started thinking about this program, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
I mean, I have to look because we've talked about it for a while.
Yeah.
We've been asked about it, haven't we? The online cave series, right? Why haven't we done it before now? That's one thing what people probably want answers to, right?
I've got a number of questions for you, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go for that. Why hasn't it been available till now? And I think quickly on that one, I would say that we've had a lot of other things we really wanted to focus on because predominantly we talk a lot about buoyancy, trim, finning techniques and essential skills. So it had to be a way to improve people's essential skills first. I mean, it's nice shooting for a fighter pilot or a cave diver, first. But let's be honest, they don't start there, do they?
No, it's true.
They've got to start somewhere else. I mean, you don't become a Formula One driver by learning Formula One. There's all these other levels before it, go-karts and all the other Formula 3, 2 and so on. Now, our stuff is no different. And what we've realized is that through making online content, we've tried to focus on the areas that are most important to us or going to help us the most with developing our own students, right? Because we started this online training from a point of view of helping our students to actually get better. It wasn't just to make money off anyone we could find and whatever. It was, no, we've got students coming to courses, they're asking the same questions.
Yes.
They've got the same problems. Could we make something that will make them better? We did. That's tried, tested, proven, and still doing very well to this day, which is all of our online training, but predominantly what we're known for is the Sidemount Essentials. So the cave program was inevitable for me to do and us to do. It's been very nice having especially you join and be part of that as well, because it's one of them where it was such a big undertaking as well. And there's so many different levels of experience, and it's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. And I honestly thought it was going to be big. It's exciting that it's coming to the end, although I bet you we're going to be adding to this.
Yeah.
Every year we'll be adding something. That's no doubt about it.
Well, when you talk about the why now, I mean, I have something else to say, which is that if you think about the philosophy of it, if you told someone 10 years ago that you could make a cave diver from watching a video,
that'd be laughed at.
Well, they'd have thought you were crazy, right?
Yeah.
You can't learn diving from a TV screen, right? We had the same resistance when we did the Sidemount Essentials work. And I think what happened for me was originally you believe then that you can't make a cave diver, but I think the difference isn't necessarily that you're attempting to make a fully complete cave diver.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're looking to make their cave training that much more valuable because they're that much more prepared for it, right?
Sure.
You're also going to create an encyclopedia style knowledge base. How do I attempt this type of navigation? What should I do with my light? What should I do if?
Yeah.
So, you're creating a training resource and you're giving people a head start when they come for training.
And not that, like we know, we get asked all the time, is people who have been certified, who haven't dived for a little while in caves, because they don't have caves on the doorstep. They have open water.
Yeah.
But we asked them questions earlier, I'll get rusty, what can I do? If you've got this online resource that we're now creating, soon to release, you're going to have these tools where you can easily refresh, and not just refresh, but if your training's been lacking any of the areas, well, it's going to show up, so maybe you'll actually learn something. So it's not, this product is really aimed at, honestly, every diver. I mean, we talk about cave, people think, people who want to take cave training. Well, sure, they're the ones who are committed, who are going to benefit, you could say, probably the most, because they're going right for that training.
Yeah.
You're the people who are already certified, who will definitely, is a great refresher tool, and ultimately learn the way we teach cave diving and our experiences, and everybody we've worked with in the past as well. Everything we do has an influence from them in it.
Sure.
Basically, we stole all the best bits. That's what we do, don't we? We don't, anything we didn't particularly think they were good at, we didn't use that. We kind of, we've got a slightly better one off that guy, we'll use his. And it's all like this, isn't it? And then you have your own opinions because you've trained a lot of people. So that's really what people are investing in here. It's something that has been, it's our life's work. There's no better way of putting it, because we've literally invested all our experience and time and effort into creating something that we believe will make cave diving safer for everyone. Even people who are not even interested in cave could potentially look at it, see the sort of level, like, I went to learn cave diving because I knew they had the best skills. So buy our materials and find out why
Yep.
those guys have the best skills. And then you'll see probably the need for the essentials and all the other things. So it doesn't really matter when you come to us and what you're interested in. If this is the top, then shoot for the top first, see where you're at,
Okay.
and then you could branch out into anything else.
So, you've got these potential people that might benefit from it, whether they're looking to take training, have taken training, or just generally interested in cave diving. But then what's in the program? What is it that makes this worthwhile? Why is it different to what else is available?
Of course, yeah.
What is it that's in there? What's
I always say the same thing. I take my hat off to anybody else who's prepared to put the time effort in to make something similar to what we've done. What we've done is we've focused on, the whole putting yourself in the student's shoes and somebody going through the entire program. We know a big thing, just to give one example, is that a lot of people struggle with reel work, using that reel to make tie-offs and everything. We need lines in caves, that's how we do it. If that takes up so much of your course, though, and people have so much difficulty with it, then imagine somebody spent, let me just think for a second, but the video debriefing videos, we've got at least 5 or 6 full videos with well over an hour and a half of content on reel work alone, just using a reel. You think, no way, how can you do it? There's only so many tie-offs. Well, there is. But when you start covering real students having problems, when you start overlaying that with voiceovers, green screens, and all the things we do, and you start breaking it down step by step for somebody who's new to this, or even with experience looking at it, your focus is different. Like, we're building this concrete, solid thing that I hope will leave no questions. Like, I want to get good with a reel, Steve. Have you covered lantern reels? Have you covered the normal, sidewinder reels? And how do I lock it? There's different ways to do it. How do I do these advanced tie-offs? How to do line drops and wraps? And what about this tie-off? What about if the tie-off is sloped that way? What about if I'm turning left? What about if I'm going up? What about if I'm going down? Everything should be covered. And I challenge anyone to find holes in our stuff, because I like it. When someone comes up with something we're missing, well, we get back in and we do this again. And there's this updated video that now has it. So we're proactive in it, and we try to do our best job to cover it in the first place. But I get quite excited about it, because for me, I like that what you said about people that laugh at, can you learn online? Because look at the way the world's gone. Look at the way AI is going, like it or not. Look at all the different things that happen. There is absolutely value in it, and a lot of people are adopting it now, and we're just going from strength to strength. So I'm really happy about the end of our training, not the end, but the biggest one, the hardest one, the cave.
Sure.
And no doubt all those things will filter back to the other programs, and no doubt in the future we'll probably even look to help the very beginners.
If you just put for one side, it's a digital product, it's online, all the rest of it. But what's the format of it? I mean, is it literally just you sat in front of the camera saying this is a reel, this is a rock, this is a...
No, much like we've done with the Sidemount Essentials course, where we structured it daily. So it follows what we do. We have a 4-day program, and each day we do this, and it's broke down into land drills, workshops, equipment building, problem solving, diving, scenarios, compass use, you name it. What we've done the same thing with cave diving. We've broke it down to 2 ways to follow it through, actually. We broke it down into a daily format that we would follow when we teach the programs that we run. It would be a 5-day intro to cave, or a 10-day or 8-9 day full cave course, or a combination of those. We broke it down into format you can follow for there, in terms of the same thing, land drills, things you would learn on that day, your homework, for example, things you need to improve on for the next day, just like a student would following it. So when you come into that course, they're going to pretty much do what
they're going to
set out.
They're going to follow the same program, basically.
Absolutely, exactly the same. The other way we're going to have another way where people can reference it by topics. So if you're interested in advanced navigation, gaps, T's, jumps, that will be its own section, won't it? And each of those will have its own variables, and then lots of different examples. But we're not just drawing little pictures here and saying, put your cookie here and make a jump that way. No, we're showing actual live instructors doing demonstrations, mostly you and me, with a role model demonstration of how it should be done. We've even got the same areas where we've done the work with students who are attempting it, doing sometimes a good job, and sometimes they're not doing a good job, making mistakes that we expect people to make. So we're trying to look at this from every angle, where if we're capturing all these mistakes and visually showing you it, there's a lot less chance you're going to make that mistake.
Yep.
And if you are, at least you're armed in what to do should you make those mistakes.
I think for me, that was one of the big differentiators between creating a manual that says this is how to do it, and then saying, well, actually, when you do it, these are the sorts of things that can go wrong, or the sorts of things to watch out for. Yeah. And when you have live students on a real course, how do you handle it in the moment? And then how do you then give the lesson when that's finished? Yeah. So it's kind of got this dual purpose, if you like.
And we take it even further, don't we? We show you all that, and then we even show you the end of dive and video debriefs we've done, where you can see the students interacting with us, asking questions, and how really it should be done. And I really believe a lot of people watch this will be like, sadly, they'll be saying, my cave course wasn't like that. I wish it was. You know, my instructor did not take that time. So we're trying to set a role model standard here of what we believe is right. This is what I love about all the stuff we've done before. I mean, we have over 5,500 comments now in the online lessons.
Okay.
So that's to do with our replies and people asking questions. Sometimes just confirmation, or where do I find this video or whatever. But sometimes it's like you've done with the whiteboard stuff. They're asking you high-level questions where you've had to work it out and give explanations. What a brilliant tool that is. So not only do they get to watch a live video of something, if you scroll down a little bit on that video, you might get some comments where you've got extra feedback from people who have watched the same thing. And we have thousands of customers going through this now. So you're learning from technically thousands of people. If you take the time to comment and help everybody, it's this community, isn't it, as well, that's building and building. So fantastic.
I mean, from a reference point of view, I definitely agree. You know, what I liked about the cave program was that you've got the actual divers going through it day by day. And so when you watch this cave series, it's like you're going to go on that cave course.
Yes.
You're not necessarily got in the water on that dive, but you know, you're joining in and you're seeing what they're going to do. So if you're going to have your own cave course, well, you know what's coming up. But then at the same time, what mistake I would make on a skill, you might make a different one, let's say. Yeah. And in the manual, it won't mention any of those mistakes.
No.
Right. So you're basically going to get this added value from seeing what else is typically going to come up. Yeah. And it was that real side of it, which I felt was something that doesn't exist. Yeah. When you look at a lot of other materials that are made, they're staged. You know, everything's been set up, and we're showing people teaching in a fake way. Sure. These were actually real courses, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what people need to understand with this as well. It's an unbelievable amount of time and effort that goes into it. I mean, right now we're sat here, but we've had so much planning to get to this day where we're actually making this recording. You know, people I don't think really understand. We've planned multiple trips to different countries. We've had all our old cave training materials analysed and looked through. We shot over 3,000 video clips for Mexico and Spain. Over 3,000 clips that you've painfully gone through and named again. You know, and then I've utilised them to try and build lessons from them, and then you've overlooked that again to say, hey Steve, on this lesson let's try and add this clip because I remembered naming that one. And wow, I don't think people realised that at the time, but this is probably why it's took us as long as it has as well, because the workload is incredible, and it's not something you can do an hour each day. If you just did 1 hour each day, you cannot give it the time it needs to develop it properly. It needs real commitment.
I mean, I think that's the difference between just, if we went into the garden and showed people how to use a reel, we would have made that video in a day, right? But that was never the intention. No. It was to go cave training, because it isn't just how to hold the reel. It's about, well, there's the passage now, where to run it in that passage. What do I do when someone else's reel is there?
Absolutely.
And it's about going cave diving rather than these static textbook skills. So it's that different approach to the whole thing.
Yeah, I think a really good word here is immersive, because that's what we're doing actually. Every single aspect of our online training, it's making it immersive for you. So you literally could put yourself right then and there like you're doing the work.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. And I've got to thank all the people who turned up for the cave training that they did, because they knew they weren't guinea pigs. We've been training a long time. They knew they were getting some great training. And they knew they got to appear on the videos quite a bit, and you'll see a lot of them. But they knew also that what they were doing would be scrutinised, and they would be letting all their video debriefs to a degree and everything go online. So sometimes a bit of a tough pill to swallow, but I think a lot of people watching it will relate to being in their shoes. Like, oh, I made them same mistakes. Wow, that happened to me. And we've said a lot of time, this is what happened to us. So that is it in cave diving. It's something that you are going to make mistakes, and you definitely are. And what we're doing with the series is trying to help you to, when you make those mistakes or similar, because they're a learning. I hate the word mistake, actually. Let's call it something else, because you're learning, aren't you? It isn't a real mistake.
It's your earlier attempt.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah. Until you do it. What's going to happen is that we're going to, just like having great essential skills going into a cave program, what does that do? It allows you to let the cave teach you the lessons and focus on cave diving. Well, what does having our cave materials do? It takes that to another level that makes everything else even more enjoyable. So now you're going to just create cave divers, hopefully very, very easy. I mean, we don't want an easy job, but what we want is an enjoyable job, a rewarding job. When people have more time to dive with us, and we can show them the more cool things they are to see. I mean, we're not short of caves to dive when we go training in Mexico.
Sure.
We're short on time. There's beautiful things we want to show you.
I mean, if you talk about those courses, then the stuff that we're showing. I mean, is it only dives? We're breaking it down into classroom work.
We've got absolutely everything. So you're not missing anything out. I mean, I even think we've got some bits in the car. Because the car talks is one of them that doesn't really get mentioned, but they're not always recorded. But we have some great conversations to and from dive locations. And great questions come from the students. They feel comfortable a lot of the time to ask questions. And that's where a lot of learning's done as well. So what we try and do with all our training is like I always said to you in the early days of teaching Sidemount Essentials, eat, sleep and breathe training. There is this great unique thing that comes from it, that when you focus on their whole day, and it's a training day, you're being paid for it, the money's put to the side, you're going to do a job now. Execute it to the best job you can. They're going to give the time, you're going to give the time. When that actually happens, you end up with a really great result. And it doesn't matter the person's skill set coming in. You can have a natural, you can have someone with very little experience, you can have someone with really bad habits. The change that happens for all three is the same. It's a big change no matter what. That whole goal of this is to make cave diving the same way. I do want to make it more achievable or approachable, by other people. I want them to be able to access it. Even if they're never going to go in a cave, would watching our online cave series make you a better diver? The answer is easy. Absolutely yes.
Well, I think it's important to say that we've got a number of different channels of the way the information is delivered, right? So there are some theory topics which are classic topics. If we're talking about rule of thirds, we're talking about the golden rules of cave diving.
These are on a whiteboard, step by step.
Absolutely, right? And so we've got that backup, which is the stuff that you would ordinarily have gotten from your encyclopedia or from a manual, let's say, right?
To a degree.
Then we've got stuff that's actually done, presented on land, real workshops, navigation workshops, dive planning workshops. We've got all of that covered, and with all the divers rehearsing that on land.
Again, this is not live in the sense we're drawing. We're actually physically putting lines
in amongst the trees,
putting markers down, having students walk the line, not just pretend, but no. You're going to get here, you're going to switch your regs, you're going to move here, and do this.
Well, we have them on benches. We have them simulating restrictions. We have all of that kind of work that they're doing. And then, of course, we've got the water work where they're attempting it. So whether they're leading the dives, some of the dives we're leading, they're, of course, doing all of the things that we've briefed. But then it's the summary of all of that when we're debriefing them. We're showing what they've done, why that's a good thing, why maybe it needs to change. But we kind of got that from two angles because, I mean, how did we sequence it? There was the two of us, right?
Yeah.
So on any given day, one of us is the actual instructor.
Absolutely.
And the other guy, we call him the ghost, right?
Yeah, his job was just solely focused on video recording and capturing all this happening. Absolutely. And occasionally we'd get involved if necessary to answer questions and so on, but we tried to keep it as fixed as we could.
Yeah, so it was clear for the students that they were on a course, and you had this fly on the wall essentially that's going around capturing the action. So when you look at it, the instructor is never going to get all the best angles because they're focused on the person that's in front of them, right? So that was, for me, the beautiful part about having the ghost with us. It's a bit like having a drone following you around, right, and doing all of that kind of stuff. So when I look back at what we've shot, it's not at all the way I would remember it, let's say.
No, and exactly. And what we've tried to do as well, just so people are really clear, because they're going to ask me, like, cave instructors will also find use in our materials. Because what we've done by having this ghost scenario, just reminding me here, is that whenever we talk about something, it's hard to leave the instructor side out or the instructor trainer side out. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. But when we talk about something, we can talk from two ways. We can talk from what the students are trying to do and experience. Then we can talk from there's where the instructor's positioned, and that's how he's handling what those students are trying to do. Look how close he is, where he's moving. The students are now in zero viz. They might pull that tie off, but look where the instructor is. He's actually there, ready to stop any impact to the cave and keep it safe, or make that tie off necessary. All these things. So what we're trying to do when we create this series is just give as much of this information as we can to everybody.
Sure.
And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create this encyclopedia, or like you said, a great educational resource. That's what it's all about.
But I think the idea that it's got this multiple focus, you have the instructor-specific pieces. Now, of course, that might be interesting to divers as well. But if we're talking about how does the cave instructor run a course and how do they handle the water session, let's say, versus how does the student do it. And so depending on where you're coming in, you can basically pick whichever channel's interesting to you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I thought was the most interesting for me. And then we talk, of course, about how you would handle it in Mexico, how you might do it in Spain, how you might do it in Florida.
We've got the different environments, and then you mentioned the water work, but we've also got the debriefs as well, remember? So this is really important as well. We tried to capture a lot of that, didn't we? In terms of how the people feel they're progressing, what we actually saw. And then when you show that live as well, I think it's certainly going to be interesting to a lot of people how that works. And hopefully it will show people what real video debriefing does. Because there isn't a lot about that. I mean, we talk about it, we do it in our course. So anybody who's listening that's been with us knows exactly what we're on about. But people from outside or other instructors, hopefully now they can really see live examples of a video debrief being actually executed.
Sure.
Yeah. We've not really done that before, I don't think. We've not kind of showed that. So it's good for everybody.
So this for me is really, the initial release of the Cave series.
Yeah.
We're obviously expecting it to be taken a certain way. We know that there'll probably be some questions that we're going to obviously try and set out to answer if we're not already including them. But do we think this is the end of the story? Do we think there's more to add?
I think with this, it's an open book. It's something, I hate the word book, but an open series, whereas you can we're going to be adding all the time. Much like we've added to the Sidemount over the years, and we've still done, and we are doing with this one, there's just, it's a never-ending chapter. Things progress, things change. Like I said, people, please get in touch if there's questions. We're not just going to answer them quickly. If it's something that we can make a video from and give a better training for everybody, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So like I said, any holes you find, we'll fix them.
Well, it's worth saying that we're setting out to teach what everyone knows right now as a cave course, but we're not yet teaching a cave CCR course
Or stage
course, DPV course.
Yeah.
So these are obvious things which can come afterwards.
Absolutely. Well, we're giving information on when people do that. Like we've talked about why an explorer explores a cave and how caves are formed, and why they need different equipment and when they use that different equipment. But what we've not done is when someone comes for a training course with us to do some of those levels, what goes into that?
Sure.
I mean, maybe that's something we can expand into. Obviously, this niche market is getting smaller and smaller at each time, right? But if people want it, we'll do it. So much like a lot of people ask who make online content, we're asking, if you want it,
sure.
tell us and we'll do it. If you don't and you want other things, great. Tell us and we'll try and do that as well. It's really that simple. We want to make things that people want to use at the end of the day. We're not doing this for us. When we are, of course, it's a job, it's a career, it's our lifestyle. It pays the bills, it keeps food on the table, it keeps us doing what we're doing. I would never, so I've got to thank everybody who's bought any of the materials so far, because quite honestly, maybe I've always wanted to do what I'm doing now or are about to release. But in reality, I would never have released it. I would never have made it. Without the support and the lifestyle it's given me to, from the other materials, there is no way, from a business point of view, I would have ever took the time out and the resources and the money and the everything I've done to create, to create this cave series. There's no way I would have done that in the beginning. I'd have been mad.
So
For what return, we don't really know. I mean, I'm very excited because I think it'll do very well. But the point I'm making is that it's great to do it now because of what everyone else has helped us to build before it.
yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, on the plus side, you had a lot of tacos.
Yes, I did. Yeah. You can never have too many tacos.
That's right. That's right. All right, good. So on the cave side then, this is for anyone anywhere in the world. It's for any agency.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
for
Anyone who thinks this is just like a warm water thing, well, you're wrong.
Yep.
I mean, I wore a dry suit for most of this, if not all, actually, and you're the same. So we've tried to apply all the different variations into it. We are going to expand. We've got already covered quite a bit of it, but we are going to expand into more cold water type environments. Of course, what we've done here is we've used places like Mexico and Spain and Florida to, these are where the real training happens. Like a lot of the training in the world, people would agree these are meccas. These are places where it's happening constantly, day after day. And if you can get a course there, you know you're going to get a good program because the conditions are right. If you can spend longer in the cave training people with all the different things, of course. So it was only logical that we're going to shoot our training materials there. Why would we not? So does it apply to everyone in the world? Yes. And if you have a specific regional variation, again, ask the questions. If we don't know the answers, we'll try to find them.
Yep.
We'll try and apply it. Who knows? We may even take a trip to some mines that you've got there or some cold water stuff. I still have cold water gear.
Yeah, sure.
I'm happy to get wet.
Yeah, sure.
Or stay dry, but keep warm. Know that one. But yeah, I mean, cave diving, it's constantly changing, isn't it? And like we've talked about, when I learned in Mexico, but then I really appreciate going to Florida. And I love the cave diving in Florida. Would I want to take a full training course there? It could be done. Would I do it personally? I'd like to learn in Mexico because I did it that way. Do I see the benefit of then going to Mexico, to Florida and doing the beautiful caves they've got with the flow and everything? Yes. Fantastic. Don't miss that out. Get it in your logbook because you'll go back.
Are you worried that people might take this training program and then think they're cave divers and then go cave diving?
Look, you can go cave diving right now without any training at all. You can buy the student materials from any agency right now without needing to show any proof of a cave course that you're taking or anything, right? You could arguably read the books and still go and attempt to go in the caves. What have we done? I think we've made it way safer for everybody by giving them so much information about all the different variations and potential problems and issues that happen in the cave and showing it from a real training point of view. When you train someone, here's the way to put it in a nutshell. When you've trained someone, are they more safe going into caves or less safe?
Yeah, fair enough. They're more safer, yes.
So if you're attempting to train, well, that's what you're doing. Right? You're doing your best effort to attempt to train a student.
Yeah.
I could do my best effort. Maybe yours is better than mine. So that means they should never come to me then. They should only go to you. Well, no, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't really mean that. It means that any information that students can be given is probably going to help them be a better, safer person if they're going to a cave anyway. So if you're going to buy the materials, then absolutely you're going to learn. I don't think you're going to be racing in the caves. I think you'll do quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I think you'll start calling people around and start asking cave instructors, hey, do you teach it like this? Do you do that? And if cave instructors say, nah, we don't bother with that or this, then maybe you find somebody who does care a bit more. What we're hoping to do here is to raise the bar, not just for students learning, but instructors and cave instructors. Thanks for watching, and we hope you will genuinely benefit from our cave training materials. If you have any questions before or after subscribing, please do not hesitate to ask us. Thank you.